Streaming live. Okay, Brian, how you doing? Good to see you here. We've got a whole bunch of people joining us. Welcome to our live call. Mark, as always, good to see you here. Nice to have you here. Obviously, it's still early evening or in Long Beach, California there, Brian. It looks like you're on the East Coast, man. It's so dark. It's really dark where you are. Good to see you here. Got a few people jumping on. We're going to get this thing rocking and rolling. So we are streaming live. That's awesome. All right. So Jerry Dukovsky. How you doing, Jerry? Good to see you here. Who else is over here? We've got in the dark. That's right. I live in the dark. Awesome. Rex, good to have you here. Welcome to our live training. So today, I'm going to talk about a simple 5-step process from a sales point of view. It's a process that I've used for a long time. It actually, the reason why the process works is it just kind of follows the next logical step in the process of sales. And so I just want to go through a couple of things I'm going to be sharing with you on this training. Number one, I want to talk a little about pre-qualifying the people that you speak to, right? So it's all very good for me to go through a fundamental sales process, but a little bit of pre-work, things that are going to help you a little bit more to maximize your ability or opportunity to be able to close and convert a sale, it will happen in the way that you pre-qualify customers. Oftentimes, what we tend to do is we're super happy that we've got somebody on the phone. We're super delighted to ask a whole bunch of questions and that we have an opportunity for business. And ultimately, this is the game that we're in. The number one skill or the number one driver of any business is your ability to help customers to invest in your services. That's really, there is nothing else, right? There's nothing else. If you don't believe that, I had the good fortune to spend time with a guy called Robert Herjavec, who is one of the sharks on the Shark Tank. And I had a moment. I had there's a famous movie. It's called City Slickers. Billy Crystal, Jack Palance. They're out. They're on a trail ride. It's kind of a tourism trail ride, and they're in the middle of the night. It's storming, and there's a cow about to have a calf. And Billy Crystal asks Jack Palance this one question, right? And the question was, what's your one thing? If there's one thing in life, what's the big lesson? What's the one thing in life that you learned? And Jack Palance doesn't give him an answer, but I had the opportunity to ask that one thing question of Robert Herjavec. And I told him about the story. I said, listen, if I was asking one thing, what would be your one thing, your number one thing, the most important thing from a business point of view, in your opinion, right? Knowing what you've had with all the experiences, all the companies you own and bought and built and sold, and you're a billionaire, right? What is the one thing, right? And he said to me, John, in bad times, sales above all else. And in good times, sales above all else, right? You've got to be, if you're building a business and you're not engaging, recruiting, helping people to invest in your services, fine-tuning your messages to make sure that you maximize the opportunity for that client or that prospect to invest in what you have, right? Then you are completely out of business. And the number one thing I often ask people, there's only two metrics that are really important to your business, right? Number one, how many appointment opportunities do you have in your calendar right now? How many appointments you've got? And number two, how many presentations did you do this week, right? Now, if you did 0 presentations, it means you added no money to your bank account. So next week, you've got to make a conscious effort to make sure you do a presentation, make an offer to somebody, offer them to buy something from you so that you can actually generate revenue, right? Now, if that doesn't happen next week, then you've got to do the same thing the following week, right? So your goal has to be constantly talking to or engaging or offering to the market so that you follow your sales process. So today I want to talk about sales and selling and the simple system. I'm sweating here because I actually just came off the beach, and so I'm a little bit sweaty from my run along the beach today. But the number one thing is we've got to be selling. So I'm going to walk you through two aspects of selling. One, the qualifying process. You've got to go through a qualifying process to know that you're talking to the right person, that they've got the money, that they can afford what you have to offer, that they're ready to do what you have to offer right now. It's not something they're considering and thinking about for later. So they're ready to go now. That all the people who are there ready to make a decision are there to make a decision now, not in the future, right? So you have all the decision makers. The person you're speaking to can write the check, can give you the credit card, can sign the agreement on the spot, right? And you need to eliminate all the objections. You're pre-qualifying, it's the best place to do that, right? So oftentimes when you're talking to people and you're pre-qualifying, you want to set this up really simply and say, hey, because you want to see that you're a fit and that they're a fit for you, and you want to take the next logical step, and that is to move forward. That is to move forward. So in the sales process that I'm articulating for you right now, it's a three-step process, right? You can be a two-step process or a three-step process. You can do 2 steps in one, or you can break it up into 3 steps. So the first step is, are you talking to the right person? Are you qualifying? However you got this person, whether you sent out a lead magnet, you made an offer, you ran an ad, they came to you, you've got them on the phone, right? So on that phone, you're going to say, hey, we've got a short while on this phone, right? 10, 15 minutes on the phone. I have a specific series of questions that I want to go through to be able to help you. And so more importantly, I want to achieve 2 things. Number 1, I want to get very clear about why you're on this call and your objective. And number 2, to see if you and I are a fit with each other, that we can actually help you. Is that okay with you? And they go, yes. Great. So why do you want to do this thing that you're inquiring about? You want to ask, why do you want to do this? And you want to ask, why is it important for you to do this now? And you want to ask, why are you reaching out to me at this time, right? You want to ask those 3 questions. Why you want to do this? Why is this important now? Why are you reaching out to me, right? What's going on? Let's establish what's happening. So you want to understand what their objective is, right? What is the real thing they want to get to? And you also want to understand what's not happening. If the thing that is not happening continues to happen, then what are the consequences of that? So you want to ask those sorts of questions. Say, look, I just want to be super clear. Why are you doing this? Okay, what's the outcome and the impact you're looking for? How's that going to impact on your business in the future? How does this support your vision for your company, the direction you're going in, right? What problems is it solving for you? Okay, why is it important to you, right? Why is it important to you? Tell me a little about what's going on right now, right? Have you done anything to support this in the past? Have you tried to solve this problem in the past? How did that go, right? Why didn't it work, or why did it work, right? These are things you want to know just very quickly through that process. And then you want to say, okay, great. So here's the next step. I want to be super clear with you. Number 1, I just want to make sure the investment in our services, they start at X amount of dollars. So the investment in our services are $2,000 to $3,000 a month. There's a $3,000 to $4,000 setup fee. My question is, can you handle that right now? Are you able to handle that type of investment? And most people, when they're working with us, they work with us for 6 to 12 months. So what you're essentially in for is between $20,000 to $36,000. That's roughly what you're in for. Are you able to afford that right now? Can you do that, right? And they're going to go yes or no. Right. So already they know you've got the objection of price right up front, and you're giving them an idea. You don't have to give them an accurate number. You want to give them a range roughly between here to here. This is where we're at. Can you afford that? Are you able to afford that? Are is that something that's in your budget? Right. Yes or no. Right. Now, if they say no, the conversation stops right there. Thank you. Move on. Next. Right. It's over. Because if they're not going to spend money with you, or they can't afford what you're offering, then there's no point in doing a sales presentation. You might direct them to another option, or you might say, look, I don't know, I want to be super clear what you're looking for here, what your expectations were, right? So if it's an exploration, then there's no point in having a conversation. You know what the price is roughly what you're looking at. Thanks for coming, and move on. But we want to get clear about the price, and we want to say, hey, when you work with us, you're roughly looking at an investment from between here and here. Are you okay with that? Can you handle that? Is that okay? Is that in your wheelhouse, your budget? They go, yeah, I can handle that, right? Because that's roughly what we're going to be offering you, right? The second thing is, I just want to make sure that is there anybody else in the business that should be involved in the strategic decision making to help this business grow? So what I'm asking you is, do you have a partner? Does your wife get involved with the decisions in the business? Do you have senior management people that are involved in the strategic decision of the business? Who else needs to be involved to be able to move forward? If you like the idea of working together, who else needs to be involved to be able to have their questions answered, to be able to move forward, right? Wife, partner need to do that. Right. So essentially, if you like what we've got to go, you're able to make that decision and we can move on. Is that correct? They go, yep, I'm the decision maker. I'm going to sign the contract. I'm going to sign the check, right? Now, the next thing that we need to eliminate is timing, right? Is this something you need to do right now? 10 out of 10, we've got to get this fixed and we've got to get this sorted and we've got to get going and get the solution happening. Or look, we're just really thinking or looking at our options. We're exploring and we're looking at our options, right? And if they say we're exploring, look at our options, say, well, roughly this is what the price is, roughly these are the sorts of things that we do. When you're ready, let me know. We'll be able to give you a proper plan and a structure and we can move forward. If it's something you need to do now, so basically now, so if we can provide you with the right plan, the right investment, the right solution, and show you a pathway, then I'm going to make sure that we're going to make sure that we implement that plan. Do you agree? They go, yeah. And then I'm going to ask them to make a decision, right? I'm going to ask them in the qualify process, can they make a decision? Because one of the objections I want to eliminate is I want to think about it, right? One of the objections I want to eliminate completely is I want to think about it. I don't want them to think about it. I want them to make a decision, yes or no, right? They want to make a decision, yes or no. So I'm going to make it easy for them to make a decision. And the way we do that is we say, listen, a lot of people we talk to, when we go through this process, they go through this structure, have all the questions answered, and they need to think about it. I want to avoid that situation. I want to be very, very clear for you. I want to make sure that we answer all your questions, provide you with a comprehensive plan to hit your objective and your outcomes, and you're going to see the step-by-step process of how we actually do that in a proven path. At the end of that, I'm going to ask you, is it okay? Do you have the ability to say no? If you don't feel it's right, at the end of that presentation, do you have the ability to say no to me? This is not right for us. We can move on. As long as I've answered all your questions and provided all the relevant information to be able to help you to move forward. Is that okay with you? They're going to go, yeah, of course. I'm more than happy at the end of our presentation to say no, right? Great. Alternatively, if you like the plan, if you can see how this can work for you and you want to implement that process, is it okay if I walk you through how we get started at the end of our presentation? Are you okay with that? And they're going to go, yes, I'm perfectly okay with that, right? And then, so they've told you, you've told them, say no. You can say no, but if you don't say no, that you would seriously consider, you would like to see how we get started and how we work together, right? So we're asking for a commitment in our presentation, right? In our presentation, right? Now, if they say, yeah, sure, if we like it, we'll definitely go ahead. Great. I just want to commend you. So you want to anchor that thought of the elimination of, I need to think about it. So the way you anchor it is really simple. Hey, look, I really appreciate that. I find that the people we tend to get the best results with are the people who tend to be decisive and know where they're heading and know where they're going. I want to thank you for being able to make that decision, right? So you anchor it that, hey, I'm the go-getter, I'm the winner, I'm a decision maker. I'm going to make a decision. That way, 99.9% of the time, if you've answered all the questions, you have eliminated the I need to think about it. That is the I need to think about it is based around two things, timing and price, or actually three. I don't believe that you can deliver what you say you deliver. I don't trust you. Those are the three things. They're the only three reasons people won't buy, can't afford it, it's not right for me, right? You're not right for me, it's not right for me, right? And I don't like you, right? Those are really the only three reasons why people won't make a decision if they're saying they'll make a decision, right? So what we want to do is we've eliminated in the qualifying process 4 objections, right? We've eliminated price. Hey, if you want to work with us, the range is between here and here. Can you afford that? Can you handle that? Yes, because ultimately we're looking at our business development programs, our basic program started about $36,000. Can you handle that investment? Yes or no, right? Yeah, we can handle that, no problem at all. Awesome, great, right? Number 2, decision maker. We need to make sure we're answering all the questions for those who are part of this process. If this is something that's going to make a significant impact on your business, I would imagine it's really important for a partner or somebody that you're going to confer with that you're making the right decision for the company. And I want to give them the opportunity to be able to ask questions as you will have the opportunity to make sure that this is the right fit. So can we invite somebody else in who's part of your business? No, it's me, good. Oh, yes, I'd like my wife to be here. Awesome, great, let's get your wife. Or no, I've got 2 business partners, great, let's organize for the 2 business partners to be there. Because if there's a partner, right, then, and they're not gonna make a decision without the partner. If there is a partner and you don't know about it and you get to the end of your presentation and they say, oh, look, I want to think about it, I want to send me the proposal and I want to pass this by my partner, you're dead in the water. There's no relationship between you and the partner. The partner doesn't know you. First thing they're going to do is go straight to the price. And they're going to go, should we spend our money here or can we go somewhere else? Or what else can we be spending this money on? is the next thing that I would say if I was in the same situation. So we need to qualify, need to clarify that we've got a partner sitting there. So that's the second objection. Third objection, timing. Now or later? Do we need to get this done now, or do we need to get this done later? Is this something you want to work on as a project? You've got the right idea, the right plan that you want to move forward on. You want to do this now, or do you want to do this later? Which would you choose, right? No, we need to do this now. If you've got the right plan, we're going to get this started now. Awesome, great. And then I need to think about it. We need to eliminate the I need to think about it, right? So, hey, at the end of the day, I just want to make sure very clear at the end of our presentation, once we've gone through the plan, provided you with the investment and the ROI and everything to show you, as long as we hit the objective and answer all your questions, are you able to give me a definitive no do you have the ability to give me a definitive no at the end of the presentation? Yes, I can give you a definitive no. Awesome, great. Alternatively, if you like the plan and you like the way that we work together, is it okay if I show you how we can get started and move forward? Are you okay with that? They go, great. So thank you. Most of the people we work with who make decisions tend to get the best possible results. So I really appreciate the fact that you're conscious of the fact that of time and the fact that you want to make the right decision. So I want to applaud you and thank you. Move on. Anchor, right? So then this is what's going to happen next, right? So we're going to get to the sales bit in a moment. So you can say, if you want to, you can ask some questions and have a discovery, depending on what you're doing. If you've got a low ball offer that's like under 10 grand, you can ask all the questions you want. Look, I just want to be super clear based on what you said. What do you want to do? What's happening right now? Where do you want to be? Let's look at the gap, right? The idea is to build a plan to bridge the gap. Tell me about what you want to do. Tell me about what the objective is. What's the average sale? A little bit of information about your clients if you're lead generation. A little bit of information that you need to be able to provide the plan moving forward, right? So you can do your discovery in that qualifying call, right? And you can ask permission for that, or you can say, great, this is awesome. So to be able to help you and devise that plan, here's what the next step is. We're going to make a time for a call and we're going to go through a discovery. I'm going to ask you a series of questions, or I can provide you with a form. I need you to fill that form out, provide some answers to those questions. That will help us to devise a proper plan for you moving forward to be able to hit your outcomes and objectives and show you how we can use a proven path to make sure we're delivering on what you're looking for. Are you okay with that? They go, yep. Or let's make a time. I'm going to ask you a few questions, make a few notes, get very clear about your direction. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a plan together. I'm going to walk you through that plan, and then you can decide whether or not we can continue with this process. Are you okay with that? So you tell them what's going to happen next. So you're either going to do discovery on the moment. We can ask a few questions, go, or you say, hey, look, can we just hop on another call? I would prefer to hop on another call, right? Because here's the thing, if you're asking somebody to spend 20, 30, 40,000, 50,000, $100,000 with you, the more interaction they have with you, the more likely they're going to spend money with you, right? The less interaction, the less of them getting to know you, the less rapport that you build, right? Unless you've got context, a lot of case studies, a lot of testimonials, a lot of stuff to prove that you can do what you say you do, right? It's going to be difficult to convert that client if they're making a decision 30, 40, 50 grand, right? Okay, so I would prefer to have a conversation to get really clear. So we're working together, right? We're working together on a plan. We're already working. You're treating the prospect like they're already a paying customer in that process. That's the psychology behind it. And so it's very hard for somebody to say no to their plan because they've been part of the collaboration of developing it, right? So at the end of that, say, well, this is your plan. This is how we're going to get there. What do you want to do, right? Well, how do we get this done? They're going to ask you, how do we get this started, right? So you're working with them. You're not working, hey, let me show you what we can do, right? So that's your second option is your discovery, right? So we're going to have a chit chat. Now, your discovery, you want to ask as many questions as possible. I have normally 13 things I kind of really need to know about every company that I want to work with. But ultimately, I probably ask about 40 to 80 questions in the discovery, right? 40 to 80 questions, roughly what I'm asking. But the things that I need to know is where have they been? What's been going on? What's worked? What hasn't worked? I need to know those things, right? Why do they need to do this now? Why are they looking for this, right? What do they see as the opportunity here, right? What impact, whatever they do, what's the objective, right? What do you want to do, right? What's the outcome? And numbers are very important here, right? You want to ask them the numbers, right? So numbers like, what are you doing right now? Well, how many deals are you closing? Well, we're a roofing company. We close 10 deals a month. Great. Average sale. What's your average sale? Well, average sale is $16,000 $160,000. So you pull in $160,000 a month. How many leads do you get every month? Well, we get about 200 leads. So your conversion rate's about 8%, right? So for every 100 leads, you close 8 deals, right? Yeah. Or sorry, that's wrong. It's 5%. It's 10 deals, right? $160,000, right? 5%, right? So for every 100 leads, you close 5%. Okay, great. All right. So, what's your sales process? They come in, we do a quote, then we ask, we do an assessment, we measure, we look for the materials, then we go and ask them to go ahead with their thing, make sure they got the finances, and away we go. Okay, great. How long does it take to sell? From the time they inquire to the time they buy, so well, it could take us about 3 or 4 days. All right, sometimes it might take us 2 weeks, right? What's your follow-up process, right? Well, we generally send them a quote, and then we wait for them to get back to us. Or, we give them a call and ask them if they want to go ahead. Okay, great. How often do you ask them? Once, 10 times, right? Oh, once. Okay, so I want to know what the sales process is, what the sales cycle is, right, to be able to help them. Okay, so the other thing I want to know is the value of the customer. I'd also like to know how much it costs for them to acquire a customer, if they know. If they don't know, I would ask a question like, client spending 16 grand, of that $16,000, how much would you spend to buy that customer? How much are you willing to spend to buy a $16,000 customer? Now that number is going to vary between $2,000 to $4,000, right? They're willing to spend 2 grand to 4 grand, 10 customers, 20 grand, 20 customers, $40,000. This is going to anchor a price. It's going to anchor a price for your service. Because remember, you said, hey, you're saying you're willing to pay 2 grand a customer. We're only talking about getting, based on our numbers, it's probably going to cost you a couple $100 to get a lead, right? Or get an appointment, right? Get 10 appointments. That's 2 sales for you. $26,000 for less than $500. Are you good? Right? So you work the numbers. You understand the numbers. Lifetime value. Where are you getting customers on? Where else are you getting customers from? Right? Well, we do directories, and we're in Home Advisor. And how many leads you get from Home Advisor a month? Oh, we get 100 leads a month out of Home Advisor. How much money are you spending with Home Advisor per month? We spend about $12,000 a month with Home Advisor. So you're spending $12,000. So what's it roughly? Have you worked out how many appointments you get out of that $12,000? Well, we're roughly getting about 15 appointments. So you're paying $800 per appointment right now, right? Out of the 15 appointments from Home Advisor, how many would you close? Well, we probably get 1 in 10, right? So your close rate, your conversion rate is 1 in 10, right? 10%. And so your cost of acquisition per customer with Home Advisor is roughly about $9,000 for a $16,000 sale. That doesn't sound good, does it? Right? Okay, so you want to understand the numbers. How do they acquire them? How much are they spending? Where are they spending money? It's very easy to go through a little checklist. Are you spending money on newspapers? How much money do you spend on newspaper ads? I spend about $2,000 a week. Great, $2,000 a week. Over the next 12 months, that's $100,000 a year just in newspaper ads, right? How much money do you spend on Facebook ads? I was spending about 2 grand a month, or 3 grand a month, or 5 grand a month. Great, 5 grand a month. Multiply that by 6. That's $60,000, right? Multiply by 12, it's $60,000, right? How much are you spending on AdWords? Oh, we're probably spending about 10 grand a month, right? Great, that's 120,000. So between 3 channels, the newspaper, AdWords, and Facebook, we're spending over $250,000 just to advertise to generate the leads you're getting right now, right? And most people, when you go through that process, they go, wow, I didn't realize we were spending that much money, right? All of a sudden, they've gone from no marketing budget to having a $250,000 marketing budget. Oftentimes, when you ask the question, you're going to start to map it out. They are spending money somewhere, right? They wouldn't be in business if they weren't doing some form of money. The majority of businesses generate most of their business through referrals, through word of mouth. Unfortunately, these days, you can't build a business based on word of mouth. It's almost impossible to scale, right? Because you have no control. You have no control over referrals unless you're building channel partners that are continually referring, and you're either paying commissions or you're having a symbiotic relationship with somebody. But it's not predictable because it's predictable upon how busy they are to refer to you. So having one channel for clients is dangerous, right? So they have to invest in their marketing somehow. They're going to be doing something somewhere, or tried something at least, right? So you want to ask the question, what have you done? Now, oftentimes people say, yeah, we tried Facebook and it doesn't work. Interesting. Well, there are several people that we work with where Facebook does work. The only reason Facebook doesn't work is the strategy's wrong, or the process or the system to handle those leads wasn't working. That's the only reason why Facebook doesn't work, right? The system or the strategy is wrong. You're getting unfiltered leads. You're not driving to an appointment. You're not handling the leads in real time. You're not thinking about the sales process, or the offer that you have is the wrong offer and it's not converting. These are all the reasons why Facebook doesn't work. If I were doing those things, Facebook wouldn't work for me. It wouldn't work for you. It wouldn't work for anybody, right? It wouldn't work for anybody. So you want to understand what's going on, right? I had somebody yesterday say to me this conversation where they say, yeah, well, I tried the Facebook stuff and I've been through 3 agencies and they've all let me down. Well, I'm really sorry that you've been let down. Do you mind if I ask you what they actually did? How many leads did you actually get? How many customers did you speak to? Did you pick up the phone and call those customers in a quick time? Did they fill in a form? What was the strategy? What was the offer, right? Oftentimes, the reason why something doesn't work is either it hasn't been given the right strategy, the timing, the amount of money poured into it wasn't enough, the budget wasn't big enough to make the campaign work. There's a whole bunch of reasons why a strategy won't work. So they need to understand that there's some context, right? Because if Facebook didn't work for them, then it shouldn't work for anybody. That's the reasoning, that's the rationale. Well, if it didn't work for me, it just doesn't work in my industry, it just doesn't work, right? Okay, that's not true, right? So we need to understand why it didn't work. And then we want to help them to understand how we can make it work, right? What we're going to do to make it work, yeah? As part of the process. That's where you differentiate yourself in the process. So you want to ask as many questions as possible. You want to understand customer value. You want to understand a little bit of history of the business. I often ask people, say, hey, what got you into this business, right? What do you like about this business? What do you hate about this business, right? I'll say all sorts of things when you ask them what they hate about this business, right? I hate customers. Wow, interesting. The very people, lifeblood of your business you hate, right? Something going on there, right? Or I hate my team. My team are annoying. They're terrible. They're like herding cats, right? What do you like about business? What do you don't like about this business, right? Ask the question, right? And that really kind of, you get to know them a little bit, right? In that process. So I want to understand how the business acquires customers, what the average sale is, what their conversion rates are, how much money they're spending on marketing and advertising promotion. I want to find out how often the customer comes back. If they come back once every year, every 3 years, every 12 months, every month, every 6 weeks, how often does a customer buy? I want to ask, what's the percentage of referral? How many customers refer another customer based on the experience? I want to understand those things because I want to understand how they get customers, how much they make from customers, and how much they get to keep customers for as long as possible. Because the more I understand about the business model, the more I can understand how I can deliver a strategy that's going to help them give them the outcome. So we need to understand business first. You want to be the business understander, right? So once we've got that information, we want to get clear on this is our sales process now. Once we have information, this is what's going to happen in our call when we're having this conversation. So number one, at the end, we want to be very clear about their objective. What do they want the objective to be? We want to generate X amount of revenue over and above what we're doing right now. That's why we're doing this thing, right? We're doing this thing because we want this outcome, right? The second piece of information that we must nail before we go into a presentation is why this was absolutely unequivocally important to them to do. Why is it really, 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 really important? That's 4 reallys, right? Why is it really, 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 really important for you to get that objective? Because if it's not really, really, really important, then they're not going to do it. There's nothing that's going to motivate them to make that decision. There's no reason for it. So we need to have a reason as to why it's important to do this, why it's important to get it, and why it's important to get it now, right? We want to expand, we want to hire more people, we want to open up new locations, we want to bring a new product line. I want to take my kids on a family vacation that I've been promising for the last 6 years and haven't done. I want to buy that Ferrari that I always wanted to buy. I want to go on a luxury cruise with my wife, whatever. I want the skis, I want to invest in other companies, whatever you want to do. Why? Why do you want this? Why is it really, really important? And that is what you need to really zero in, right? The reason we're doing this, Bob, is because you said this was really important. Is that right? Yep, absolutely. You nailed it. We've got to do this. It's a non-negotiable, right? Why, right? So then we want to understand one other thing is what's stopping them from getting there. What's stopping them? Wrong strategy, don't have the people, don't understand the tech, timing, money. What were the reasons? What's stopping you from getting this done, right? What's stopping you? So you need to know those three pieces of information. What's the objective? So I'll give you some context. I'm going to walk you through a pitch, right? Sales process in terms of a pitch. So let's say I was dealing with, I'm going to choose a physical therapy business, right? Let's say they want to add 30% more increased revenue in their business this year over last year. And so my first question is, well, what does that 30% represent in revenue? And let's say it represents $300,000, right? I want to do $300,000 more this year than I did last year, roughly 30 grand more a month than I'm doing right now, right? 30%. So they're going to say roughly 300 grand. Okay, great. So your average sale is 2 grand for a plan of care. Yep, 2 grand. So we've got to bring in 150 clients over the next 12 months over and above what you're doing right now to generate that extra $300,000 worth of revenue. So essentially, we've got to bring you 4 clients a week, 3 to 4 new customers a week over and above what you're doing right now to hit that objective. Is that right? And they go, wow, yeah, that's exactly right. Not as many as I thought, right? We get 3 to 4 extra clients. Well, that's roughly 12 clients a month. That's going to give you 150 clients a year. That's going to give you $300,000 worth of revenue based on plan of care if your average sale is 2 grand. Is that right? Well, great. So to be able to do that, if we brought you 10 customers, how many customers would you close, right? And I'll say, well, probably 2 in 10, right? Or they might be really good at what they're doing, so they'll close 5 in 10, right? So let's pick the 5 and 10. They're really good at what they do, right? So to generate 4 sales, right, we've essentially got to bring them 8 to 10 leads a week, 40 leads a month. 40 leads a month based on their conversion rate is going to turn into 150 sales of $300,000 a year. We're just working the numbers back, right? So our strategy and our plan is to get 40 opportunities in front of the physical therapist, right? That's our plan, right? So you want to grow the business by 300 grand. The reason why you do this, you want to expand. You want to open up a brand new location. To be able to do that, you need to hire some team and get a lease and open up equipment, open up a new location. So you need roughly $300,000 to do that. And the reason why you do that, you want to expand the business, build the asset, hopefully one day sell the business. The reason why you want to do this is because you want to expand. You want to care for more people in the community. You want to build a brand. You want to build a business. These are all the reasons why you want to do this, right? Why is that important to you? Well, I really want to build a successful business. I want to do something as a legacy for my family. I want to be able to care for as many people in the community as possible. So you're telling me you want to care for the community, you want to build a legacy, you want to build a successful business, you want to do some things, you want to expand, create the opportunity, right? That's why you want that $300,000. Yeah, great. So what's stopping you from hitting that extra objective right now, the bridging the gap? Well, we don't have the right strategy right now. We're not getting that number of leads in right now. We don't seem to be able to be consistent. We rely heavily upon referrals, but kind of right now, referrals are up and down. Doctors and hospitals not referring to us because, we've been in lockdown and all that sort of stuff. So now we have to find another way. And so what's stopping us is we don't have the right strategy. We might not have the right people in place. There's some resource issues that we might need to take care of, right? Timing thing, we're not sure what we should be doing or what we should be spending, right? These are the reasons why they're not getting this outcome, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm now going to go into sales mode. And now that we've got all the information, right, and how I'll position information, I'm literally just going to walk you through exactly what a sales presentation should look like using just 5 simple steps, right? 5 simple steps. So we're going to step into, we know we're going to say, hey, Bob, I just want to say thank you for being here. I really appreciate that. And thank you for trusting us to develop a plan or collaborate on a plan to be able to help you to build this business. Now, I want to be super clear here, right? We spoke yesterday, we spoke the other day, and we talked about the fact that, that you were okay with the investment. If it was right for you, that you could handle the investment. Has anything changed? You can handle 3, 4, 5 grand a month. We cool with that? Yep, we're good with that. No problem at all. Awesome. Okay. The second thing is you said that if you've got all the information, you know what you have all your questions answered, and that you're all good to go, that you can unequivocally say to me that you can say no to me today. Are you still okay with that, saying no to me? They go, yeah, absolutely. So alternatively, if we've got the right plan, you can see how this can work. Is it okay if I walk you through how we can actually go and get that started today? You okay with that? Yes, great. So check, check, right? Money, check, right? Partner, check. Timing, check. So you said to me this was important. If we can devise a plan, this is something you want to implement now. Yes, not later. Absolutely. Awesome. Great. So I've got all the qualifiers and the objections out of the way. I got the I need to think about out of the way. I got the money out of the way. I got the timing out of the way. I got the partner out of the way. I'm clear on what the outcome is, right? They know that if we've got everything in the path and we're right, we're going to start today. And they've agreed to that, right? They've agreed to that. So now I'm talking to the optimum sales opportunity, right? Now here's the thing, 80% of your sale is going to be made before you get to where I am right now in the sales process. 80% of the sale is going to be made before you get here. The last 20% is you either repelling them, showing them that they should not buy from you, or helping them to buy. That's the last 20%, right? The know, like, and trust bit, okay? So what you do in this part is really important, right? You need to be relevant, you need to walk the person through. So here's what you do, right? So we've qualified and said, great, I just want to be super clear. We've got an objective here. This is your objective, 300 grand. Roughly an extra 4 patient plan of care per week over and above what you're already doing right now, get you that 30 grand. The reason why you're doing this, you want to expand location, you want to build an asset, you want to have a legacy, get more out there into the community, you want to support your family, you want to build a successful business as part of that process. And that's why this project is important to you right now. Is that correct? Yeah, absolutely. You've nailed it, John, right on the money. That's what we want to do. That's what we're here to talk about today, right? Awesome. Now, what's stopping you is you don't have a right strategy, you don't have a plan, you don't have a process, and you don't have a way to acquire those customers right now. So what I'm going to do, Bob, is I want to be very, very clear. Based on what we've discussed in our collaboration, I've devised a plan to eliminate those roadblocks and show you a proven path that we know that will get you to that $300,000. So is it okay if I walk you through that demonstration? Right? You're going to go, hell yeah, yes, right? So now you've got to demonstrate to them how you're going to do it. Right, you're going to go, great. So our recommendation is that we run a campaign. We want to be able to scale a campaign. What we're looking for is to generate 40 opportunities. We've got an offer, we have a strategy and a process we go through. We're going to optimize that campaign and we're going to scale your advertising. Budget for that advertising is roughly going to be between initially $1,000 up to $3,000 to $4,000 as we scale, right? So from there, ideally, we want to be adding that 30 grand over and above in your month. So you're roughly, when you think about it, our goal is to give you a strong ROI, but also knowing that each client we bring you, for every 10 clients you bring into the business, you add another 3 more referrals to your practice as well. So you're going to be growing organically along with the clients you're going to be generating as part of this plan, right? So you're going to walk through, right? This is our methodology, our process. Right now, this is where you're at. This is our framework to help you solve that problem. And here are the outcomes that we're looking for to achieve that problem following this proven path. Do you have any questions about what I've just shared with you? Are you good? Great. Now, a lot of people say yes to us, but I'd rather show you what happens when you say yes. So I've got a few people here like Brian and Bob and Mary and Sue and Tony, and these are the results that they achieved when they said yes to this plan that I've just shown you, right? So a few case studies and testimonials, right? So you want to put that in. Now, if you don't have a case study and a testimonial, then demonstrate how you understand the process to get the result. That's all you need to do, right? So you get to that point. So we've done the objective, we've done the reason why, and we've done the what's stopping us. Now we've said this is how we're going to solve that problem to hit that objective. That's your demonstration, right? Hey, this is what we do. These are the problems you're facing right now. You're not first choice. You're relying on referrals. We have a way, and ultimately, you don't have the extra leads. What we want to do is we have a process. We have a clear offer that we make. We optimize that offer. We want to convert people into an appointment. We have a process that we follow. There are some emails. There is some follow-up. There is a system to automatically book them in. There's a call tracking, whatever your framework is. The outcome of that is, well, if we brought you 40 opportunities based on your current conversion rate, you're looking at you're looking at those 12 sales, right? You're looking at those 12 sales per month, right? So basically, that's the plan, that's the process. Are you cool with that? Do you like the idea of that? Can you see how that can work for you? Yes, yes, yes. We're good. Great. So let me show you what happens when you say yes to us. Here's Tony, here's Mary, here's Bob, here's Sue. Testimonials. Now then you stop and say, great. So listen, are you serious? You want to stop right there. And then you ask the question, are you serious about implementing this plan? Right? And they go, great. And so you're going to ask the question, so what do you think we should do now? You stop and you ask that question. Where do you think we should go to from here? And they're going to say something like, well, how much is it going to cost? Right? And what you're going to say is, great, I'm going to walk you through that. But before I do you mind if I walk you through how we work together so we can get that outcome? Are you okay with that? Yes, awesome, great. So now you're going to explain to them this is what's going to happen, right? This is the process we go through, the onboarding, you set expectations, what's going to happen generally. We might pitch you 100 leads, but out of 100 leads, you're probably going to sell about 10 deals. Out of the 100 leads, you might only make 30, 40 appointments because of the follow-up and the timing and how you handle those opportunities, depending upon your sales process. Set the expectations, right? When we work together, we've got a support person. We have an account manager managing your account. We have a creative team developing your creative. We have a strategy team coming up with a strategy to maximize your opportunity for conversions, right? Value, value, value. You share how you're going to help them. It's not just somebody posting an ad on Facebook and just going. It's not that simple, right? There is context. So that's how we work together. So you cool with that? Do you like the idea? You understand the support? Do you understand the expectations? Do you understand why it's important to go through that process? Do you understand why it's going to take 6 weeks to get the campaign up and running? Yes, yes, yes. We're good with that. Do you have any questions? No. Excellent. So where do you think we should go to from here? And they can say, well, how much is this thing going to cost? Right? Well, great. Thank you. Now, before I do that, I just want to go. Are you serious about this? This plan, you like this plan? Yeah. Are you serious about putting this plan in place? Yep. Great. Well, let me walk you through the investment, right? So this is, I put together 3 systems or 3 programs for you. The basic program that we start with people is this, right? Your investment at that level is about $3,000 a month. We need a $3,000 upfront to get started. And here's what's included, right? We've got a landing page. We run the ads. We send the people to your calendar, right? Option 2 is we know that people need to manage in real time. So we have a follow-up system we put in place. So we do the optimization, the campaign management. We set up a campaign, we organize for scheduling, but we have a system to provide them with indoctrination, with emails that tell them about your practice, qualify them, filter them a little bit better, and your investment in that is going to be about $5,000 a month, right? With a $5,000 setup fee. Then we have the enchilada. Some people really want to speed things up, put things on steroid. We have a tracking, an appointment setting, and a whole process. Your investment in that program is $10,000. Now, based on what we've talked about, and based on your knowledge, and based on what you've seen so far, of these 3 choices, which is the best that you believe for you? So now they have a yes or a yes option. It's not a yes or a no. Oh, I think it's the one, number 2, that everybody buys, right? Upsell, right? So great. So do you have any questions about that program? Right? No. Do you have any questions about the investment? No, we've got no questions. Good. What do you think we should do? Where do you think we should go to from here? And you say nothing. And they say, well, how do we get this thing started? Right? They literally walk themselves into buying. All you're doing is asking the question, great, you've got the information, you've answered your questions, it all looks good. Great. So what do you think we should do now? Well, how do we get started, right? You're allowing the person to get started. It's a beautiful question. It's all Sanders School question. Where do you think you should go to? Well, I think, we've got the questions answered. This is the right plan. So based on what you've told me, this is the right plan. This is the objective. This is the outcome. We've got the process. You can see that we can do this. Your investment, you've got it covered. So I guess what do you think we should do with this plan of yours? I think we need to put it in place, right? And great. So let me walk you through the agreement, sign the agreement online, have an agreement ready, right? And then let me walk you through, right, the payment. Now, I can take your credit card right now and I can use a really simple software here and I'll shoot you an invoice immediately. What's the best credit card to put this on, right? Amex, Visa, whatever, take the number. Great. I'll put the number in, process the card through Stripe, hit enter. They get an email and an invoice stating they made a payment, right? So you can take payment directly on the call, right? So there's 2 offers you're going to make from a price point of view. You can say, hey, some of our clients, they like to take care of this thing all up front. So you're going to offer to get them to pay you the whole contract, the whole agreement up front, right? So some people, investment in this process is $36,000. You can either pay for it up front, save a little bit of money, or we can finance that for you, right? So $3,000 round, $3,000 a month over 12 months. Which would you prefer? Oh, I want to save a little money. I'll pay up front. Then you can collect all the money up front. If you don't offer for them to pay up front, they can't pay you, right? If you can't take payment on that phone call, you've got a problem. You're going to have to write a credit card down, very quickly go and process that and send it. You need to be able to take payment, right? Your worst case scenario is you set up a PayPal invoice. It's free and people can pay you with a credit card on PayPal, right? And you can go in and pay for it. Take the numbers and process it, right, on PayPal, right? So it's very easy to take payment. So I'm just going to recap with you very quickly and very easily. Number one, the qualifier, right? You want to eliminate all the objections right up front. You want to eliminate all the objections right up front, right? Time, money, partner, think about it, right? Time, money, partner, think about the 4 biggest objections you're going to have to deal with, right? Will this work for me? You're going to demonstrate that it does. You have a process. Remember that framework. Here's your problem. Here's how we solve that problem with our system. And here's what the outcome is when we put our system into place. We have a proven path to follow to get an outcome or a result utilizing what we sell in the marketplace, right? That's how you solve the problem. That's how it works for them. If you can demonstrate that with case studies and testimonials, then do so. Use case studies and testimonials. It shows people it works, right? If you can't demonstrate with testimonials and case studies, show them how somebody else made it work, right? Reverse engineer it. It's very easy to do, right? So now we've qualified. Now we're going to go and do discovery. Find out how do they acquire customers, all the areas. How much do they spend on their marketing? Where are their customers coming from? What is their conversion rate? How often do they get customers? What is the average sale? What is the lifetime value of the customer? How often does a customer buy, right? All that sort of stuff, right? How much are they willing to spend on acquiring a customer, right? That's the other question I want to know. What's working right now? What's not working right now? Right? Because that's going to give you an idea on offers and things like that you can apply. Okay. So we've got that. So we go into discovery, say, great. And at the end of discovery, we're going to make sure money's okay. Yep. Timing's okay. Yep. Partner okay. Yep. Decision making, not need to think about it. Are we okay? Yes. You're going to ask this person 3-4 times that they are ready to do the very thing they say that they're interested in doing. That's how you maximize. That's how you get an 80 to 90% close rate, right? That's how you get an 80 to 90% close rate, because you have given them exactly what they have asked for, not what you're directing them. You've given them exactly what they've asked for. It's their plan, not your plan. That's how you make it work, right? So we now go to those questions, right? We do the demo and we say, great. So what do you think? Do you like the idea? Got any questions? We're good. No, that's really good. It sounds great. I like that. Great. So what do you think we should do now? Well, how does this work? Okay, great. Let me walk you through how we work together. Right? This is what we're going to do. Let's set some expectations. You're okay with that? We're cool. You got any questions? No, does it make sense? Great. So what do you think you should do now? How much is it going to cost? Great. Let me walk you through the investment. Now, before I do that, are you serious about the plan? You like the plan? You like the idea? You're serious about this? Yeah, I am. Awesome. Confirm in the mind. Yeah, I want to do this. Right? Then you're going to say, great, so let me walk you through the money. Option 1, option 2, option 3. Of the 3 options, in your opinion, which suits you best? Number 2, number 3, number 4, number 1, whatever, right? Yes or yes, right? Great. So we okay? Do you have any questions about that option, right? Do you understand how that's going to work and how that's going to provide you? Yep, we're all good. Great. So what do you think you should do now? Right? And they're going to go, well, how do we get started? Well, great. Let me walk you through. We have an agreement. It's a standard terms of agreement we have of service. Here it is. I sign here. You sign here. You can do that electronically. PandaDoc, HubDoc, Proposalify, ProposalDeck.io. There's a whole bunch of services you can do this online, right? You can get the agreement signed on the spot. They sign the agreement electronically. Great. So let's take the initial installment. What's the best card to put that on, right? What's the best rewards program you're on that we put that on, right? Oh, my Amex card. Great. Let's take the Amex number. We've got the number. And then you take payment. And then you invoice the client. So you're not waiting for an agreement to be signed, and you're not waiting for an invoice to come back to you, a payment to come back to you. You're getting paid because you're making it easy for them to pay, right? This is the way you dramatically improve your conversions in the sales process. So that's pretty much it. At the end of that sales process, you should acknowledge that they bought because they made a decision. So they want to feel good about the decision. One of the things that I do is I send a quick video message on my iPhone, right? And I just say, hey, Tony, I really appreciate you coming on board. I just want to say thank you for making this investment, and thank you for trusting us in helping you to achieve the outcomes and results that we're going to deliver for you. We're going to do everything humanly possible with our team to make sure that you are happy, and more importantly, working towards that objective, that outcome, and for us to be able to help develop and build your business. So I just want to say thank you for being a new client. Send them a video text. Really simple thank you. Nice to do. It's easy to do on your iPhone, your smartphone, whatever you're using. It's very easy to do. Once we have done that, right? Then we're a client. Then we introduce them to our onboarding person, and away we go. And that is the sales process in a nutshell, right? There's no jujitsu, there's no science, there's just common sense and logic. What do you need? Why do you need this? What's stopping you from getting this thing that you need, right? Let me help you. Let's work together on finding a way to help you to get what you need, right? Let me show you exactly what's going to happen to make that a reality for you. And then can we show you how we work together to make sure that we hit those outcomes and those objectives? At the end of that, you'll be able to see measurably those results in your bank account. Does that sound good? And they go, yeah, right. As long as you've qualified them, as long as you've eliminated all the objections right up front, then you're golden. Now, I've had people literally, I've done this training many times in many formats, and I've had people literally take this idea off this training and go and try it on their next prospect, qualify them, do the whole thing, and I've had them close the deal. And they said it was so easy. They just did exactly what you told me to do, right? They did exactly what I told them to do. They just followed the path down to buying. So you're asking them, because if you, and this is the psychology and the mentality in this thing, if they are sitting there with a presentation wanting to buy, right? They're there, they're interested. They wouldn't be wasting your time if they weren't, right? So that's why 80% of your sale is made before you actually do the presentation. They want to buy, know that they want to buy, and your goal is to help them. That's your goal. That's all you've got to do is help them, right? You're not going to manipulate them. You're not going to cajole them. You're not going to force them. You're not going to try and shyster them or snake them into a deal. You're not doing any of that. That's not what you do, right? You're just helping them. So do what you're supposed to do and help them. So with that, I'm happy to answer a question. If you're interested, I'd love to know your feedback. If you thought this was cool, let me know what part of it was cool for you. I'll just look at the responses here. If you've got a question, you've got some feedback, I've got a couple of minutes here. How good to see you here, Johnny. Good to see you here, Rajesh. As always, Brian, you've been with me all the way. Mark, Jerry, Rex, Christopher, Christina, Stars. Nice to have you, Stars. Adam E, the superstar rockstar salesperson, Adam. Rod Green. Thanks, Jerry. Appreciate you saying that was brilliant. Friday night activities call you. Brian's off. Thanks, Brian. Mate, you've got it. You've actually got the whole freaking recording. And go and look in the portal, man. You got it. You already got this. I've done several recordings of it, mate. You've got demonstrations up the wazoo of it, Adam. Absolutely, in the program. Good structure that keeps us focused. Absolutely. I was furiously typing. One step at a time. Yeah, one step at a time. That's the process, right? But probably the most critical thing is being very, very sure that they're ready to buy. That's probably the most important thing. If you've got the right person sitting in front of you and they're ready to buy, they're ready to make a decision, if they've got the right plan in front of them, then you're 80% of the way there. You are home and hosed, right? But if you have the wrong person in front of you, and they don't have the money, and they're not the decision maker, and they're not ready to do something now, then they're not going to buy. There's nothing you can do to help them forward, right? They've got to come to those situations for themselves. There's a reason why they're there, right? If somebody is giving you time to explore, I generally find the exploration people are the people who are not decision makers. The people who are willing to waste your time are people who aren't decision makers, right? The people who are serious about their time, who value their time, right? And you're gonna do a presentation for them. They're making a decision to buy. Yeah, they're making a decision to buy.
Hey, John.
So, Brian, I'm brand new to this. I really like the part about getting money out of the way up front. I was being taught to wait until you finish the demo, which I can see is a real waste of time. Absolutely, Brian. Right? Waiting for the end of a presentation to show the money, right? You've got to be confident, right? You've got to say, hey, this is what it is. When people work for you, they have to pay you money. And the money they pay you or the investment they're making you is these dollars. If they can't make those dollar investments, then why are we even talking? What's the point? Wasting time. anything you tell them is going to be forgotten within 72 hours or 48 hours. They move on. So you completely wasted your time, and they have a propensity to have wasted their time. So I want to be super clear. You're ready, are you ready to do this now? Are you thinking about, if you're thinking about this, then forget about it. There's nothing to think about. You're in the wrong place if you need to think about it, right?
Hey, John.
Then that means that you're very unclear about what you need to do as part of that process, right? So I want to be super clear and right up front. I was a business insurance sales manager for years. I made my reps put the price on the first page of the, absolutely, right up front. This is what you're up for. You know what you're in for before you go in. There's no surprises. What most people do, they wait till the end and go, oh man, that was more expensive than I thought it was. Compared to what? Compared to what? That's my question. It was more expensive compared to what? Right? Yeah.
Hey, John, can I ask a quick question?
I'll let you ask a quick question, yes.
So John, one of the questions is basically because like there's often a lot of decision makers involved, they got to talk to operations and stuff. Do you recommend when I have the first initial call with them, maybe kind of drive another call with the team or go straight into like the demo, because it's going like call then to the demo? Yeah.
If you go straight to the demo and they've got decision makers, you're not going to make a sale. So you're going to have to do the demo 4 or 5 times. I just had one of our guys just closed a $150,000 deal. One of our champions yesterday shared how they closed a $150,000 deal. So I asked him to map out how many conversations did he have for them to close a deal. He said, well, I had teams of the meeting. He said 15 phone calls.
Okay, so you do recommend, so like
deals.
So if I speak to the decision maker or someone and then they go, okay, I got to talk with my team, then would I then say, okay, well, I'm happy to hop on a phone call with them and answer some of their questions before we get to the demo, or go straight phone call, then into the presentation?
No, you need everything you need before you do the presentation.
Yeah.
You have to have all the dots, all the I's and all the crosses. You're not going to do a presentation until you know that they're going to say, yes, I'm going to buy at the end of the presentation. There's no point in presenting anything to anybody if nobody's going to make a decision. So you've got to, every circumstance is going to be different, Adam. Every circumstance is going to be different. When I talk about John, who made that $150,000 sale yesterday, right? When I talk about him, I said, what did you do in that process, right? What went through? So, well, we had conversations. Nobody's going to drop $150,000 in one meeting. Do you understand, Adam? If I came to you and said, Adam, the deal, it's 150 grand. We've got a 20-minute phone call. You got the money? You ready to go? You got questions, haven't you? Right?
Of course.
Yeah. So let's get real, right? Let's understand what's going on here, right? What do you have to do to help them to make that decision? If you can do everything in one phone call, and that's what it takes, then that's what it takes, Adam. But if you have to build relationships, if you have to have more than one conversation, if you've got to bring people into a meeting, right, then that's what you've got to do. Yeah.
Got you, man.
So do what it takes. Like, dude, I've done $1 million sales, and I can tell you, I made 300 freaking phone calls to make that $1 million sale. It didn't happen in one presentation. In fact, I did 25 presentations to close that deal, right? But that's because it needed to do that. So don't you forcing, you're rushing. Oh, I've got to make the deal. I've got to push them into the thing. Got to cajole them. Got to get them into my process. No, you got to help them out, right? How do they buy? They might say, we don't buy that way. We said, hey, we need to get to know each other a little bit better. We need to know what you're doing, how you're doing, why, where have you come from, so that they're going to get to know you. That's their buying process, right? You have a process you take people through, but they've got to fit. You've got to make sure you fit all the things to get to that outcome, if that makes sense, right? Yeah. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to help people to buy. So I want to thank you for being here. I'm going to hop off now because I have to go. But I hope this is really helpful and very useful. Keep an eye out. We've got another live training coming up in the early part of next week. There's a bonus training, so I will be with you. Go and try this out. Love to know. Get some feedback. Give me some feedback on the Facebooks. But I want to thank you for being here. I really look forward to hearing your stories. If you've been enjoying this series, can you just go into the Consulting Unleashed Facebook group and just chime and say, hey, tell me what you liked about it. Let me know. Type into where the lives. That'd be really appreciative. If you want to let me know how you're going. And keep an eye out for a training I'm doing early next week. It's going to be a real doozy. I'll be letting you know via email. I'll also be posting in the Facebook groups. With that, enjoy your weekend, and I will see you next week. Good selling, everybody. Take care.